Have you ever wondered if it's really worth it to focus on controlling your breathing during exercise? Well, we all know that combining our pranayama with yoga, with Pilates, this has been done for many, many years. In fact, millennia if it's yoga. And so, of course, we know that it's beneficial. It's beneficial for calming. It's beneficial for just staying connected to our mind, calming ourselves. But in terms of higher intensity exercise and moderate intensity functional training, is it worth the time to take the mental space to focus on your breathing? Well, I am here to say yes with all capital letters. Very excited about teaching this, and I can't wait to tell you why I know anecdotally and also based on my research why it's important and it's worth it to focus on your breathing in conjunction with functional movement. Hey, I'm AJ Fisher. I'm your breathwork and exercise coach, and if you're finding value in this content, please click that like button below and also subscribe to the channel so that we can make more quality breathwork specific content for you, and my focus is connecting your breathwork to your exercise. I developed the breathography breathing technique many, many years ago when I was working with postnatal women because we found that we were able to more deeply connect to our core muscles, to healing that diastasis, which is just the separation of the abdominals post-pregnancy, but a lot of people deal with this. And so what I found over time is that syncing this kind of breathwork with exercise is extremely beneficial for the core. Now, the breathography technique has branched off into several areas and also has supported the foundation of the hypoxics technique, which is a progressive methodology that uses breathwork, breathing, as a progressive variable to increase stress on the body over time, over 8-week cycles. And this is optimizing your cognition, your core, your cardio, so many elements in the body that help to optimize your exercise. In fact, in our proof of concept pilot study, we found that combining breathography with functional movement actually increased fat loss and strength gain in the experimental group performing this breathwork with exercise. Now, of course, this just lays the groundwork for more research to be done using this breathing method. As we all know, like many, many, many more studies need to be done. But it's exciting because there are a lot of theories as to why we could potentially burn more fat, slowing our breath work down with exercise. And this is just one of the many benefits of combining your breath work with exercise. Please visit hypoxics.fitness. That's hypoxix.fitness. And there you can learn the breath method for absolute free and apply it to a 4-week beginner-friendly program, the Breath Brain Body program, where we optimize that core cognition, cardio, total body strength by integrating the breathography into functional movement. Additionally, on hypoxix.studio, that's the Hypoxix Studio, hundreds of exercise videos where I will be your coach and you will apply the breathing method to your functional movement, recovery, stretching, core, even some dance cardio. I did have a former life as a professional dancer, so come on, dance with me and breathe with me. I think that this is the only method where we combine breath work progressively with dance cardio, so come on, it's fun. For today, I'm going to break it down for you with my 4 C's as to why I mainly combine breath work with functional movement. Of course, there are many other reasons, but let's make it simple. The 4 C's, what are they? Core, cognition, calm, and carbon dioxide. Let's begin with core. When we control our breathing, including a long exhale, stacking the inhales, and even performing breath retentions, work the core more greatly than traditional exercise. And here's why. When you are controlling your breathing, you are activating the key muscles that you need to strengthen for your core, to stabilize your pelvis, to stabilize your ribs. You're using your obliques. You're using your transversus abdominis as you loosen the ribbon around the waist and you tighten the ribbon. You're using your intercostals. You're using your quadratus lumborum. I know I'm getting fancy on you here, but let's go to Nerd Town together, because when you engage these muscles, you are strengthening them and you are achieving greater strength with your breath work. So for example, when I force my exhale, for 8 seconds, I loosen my ribbon, and then I perform a 4-second breath hold with the ribbon loose. Those muscles that loosen the ribbon around the waist that also control my breath are achieving more back stability, more pelvic stability, so less likely to get injured during exercise, and then also just having a stronger core. And if aesthetic is your goal, I'm fine with that. I've been a personal trainer for 20 years. Whatever your motivation, just get in there and exercise. You're going to have the most killer looking obliques, those nice sick lines on your abs when you perform a forced exhale in conjunction with your side plank, your push-up, and every single one of your functional movements. It doesn't only have to be isolated core exercises. By performing a controlled breath in conjunction with your squat and your deadlift and your lunge, you are going to achieve a stronger core. The second C, cognition, one of my favorite areas to talk about, because when we control our breathing, we are especially with that elongated exhale, like I do in my breathography technique, where we have a long 8-second exhale and a 2-second inhale, we are increasing our body's carbon dioxide levels. And I've tested this, trust me. Thank you, Peter Litchfield, Capno trainer, shout out, amazing device, Capno Go. You can test your carbon dioxide levels at home. And what I have seen with this long exhale and even the breath retentions in conjunction with the functional movement is that we're working hypercapnically, meaning we're raising our body's carbon dioxide levels. And a variety of things happen physiologically when we raise our body's carbon dioxide levels, one of which is we're increasing the blood flow to our brain and to our muscles. We're talking about the brain right now, so increasing blood flow to the brain, that is the catalyst for positive change, increasing the blood flow and therefore the oxygen delivery to the brain during exercise. Many times in research, we see that at about like 70% of the maximum heart rate, the blood perfusion, fancy term for just blood flow to the brain, plateaus. But increasing the body's carbon dioxide levels can increase the amount of blood that you're pushing to the brain and the oxygen even past 70% of your maximum heart rate. That's incredibly exciting because we can get those brain-based benefits from exercise enhanced, working them exponentially and achieving greater brain results from exercise by increasing our body's carbon dioxide levels during exercise. Now, additionally, when you control your breathing in this sense, you're also intermittently lowering the blood oxygen, kind of like you do in altitude training. Hypoxic training, fancy term for altitude training, you can achieve it even in a space like this by, breathing in hypoxic air, breath holding, which is the way that we do it, so we don't need fancy equipment. I have many clients who have actually changed their gyms into hypoxic training gyms. I'm super lucky that I've had clients to do this because they've been amazing guinea pigs, amazing case studies. But basically, when we drop our blood oxygen, it increases the oxygen delivery to the brain. Happens inversely in opposition. So not only have we increased the blood flow and the oxygen to the brain because we've increased our body's carbon dioxide levels, but we've also increased the blood and the oxygen to the brain because of the hypoxia that we are inducing in our body. So mild blood oxygen drops. I'm not talking about excessive. I'm talking about the beneficial ones that we see in the research in altitude training, dropping our blood oxygen to, 80, 85%. And I've been performing trials for many, many years. And also my pilot study did confirm that we are achieving that 80, 85% mark using this specific technique. So you will achieve that beneficial hypoxia performing this breath technique. Now, what's next? Calm. When you slow your breath down, because of the effect on the vagus nerve, the nerve that connects the diaphragm to the brain, we are achieving a higher HRV score, heart rate variability. That's simply balancing out those two branches of the autonomic nervous system. We have sympathetic nervous system, we have parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic is the calm. When we're eating, when we're digesting, we want that calm. When we're getting a foot massage, parasympathetic, I do recommend one of those if you're feeling stressed. And sympathetic, that's our fight or flight, pumping up our adrenaline, our norepinephrine, heightening our blood sugar, our blood pressure, all the things that are healthy to spike. Sympathetic gets a bad reputation, but it is good. It's you want that to be working for you. You want to work it. You work it when you work high intensity exercise, but we need a balance between the two. Right? And by employing an extended exhale, it's been shown that a long exhale, in contrast to a short inhale, is one of the most effective methodologies for increasing the calm in the body. Now, if you can increase the calm just a bit when you're performing intense exercise, then you've achieved calm intensity. One of the most powerful concepts to train, because you're training yourself to be calm when things get intense, when things get stressful. And this is transferable to daily life. If you can perform your high intensity interval and just have a little more calm and train yourself to have more calm, like a meditation, or you're on that last repetition of a super challenging lunge and you're employing that calm breath, you are going to achieve the ability to be able to handle stress better in your life. So that calm, it's amazing. And then also, there are a variety of other reasons why we achieve a greater level of calm by practicing hypercapnic, which is elevated carbon dioxide, training during exercise. And that brings me to my final C. I know I've already talked about this C many times, but it's carbon dioxide. By elevating our body's carbon dioxide during exercise, as a byproduct of our muscles working, we increase our carbon dioxide, but then by controlling our breathing, we're also increasing our body's carbon dioxide levels. We are training our body to be able to tolerate higher levels of carbon dioxide during exercise, but also during daily life. So this is the cool thing about exercise. what we train for 30 minutes, 60 minutes in our training sessions, 3 to 5 or 7 times a week, how many times a week you can perform, we are then able to transfer that ability to be able to tolerate that stress and those carbon dioxide levels in real life. It's amazing what carbon dioxide tolerance has been shown to decrease stress over the course of the day, because we're able to handle that stress. And I'm going to get a little nerdy on you for a second. The chemoreceptors in our body are sensing our body's levels of carbon dioxide, and there's many people who live in a place of stress, of fight or flight, and automatically when the carbon dioxide levels start to rise, the body can't handle it. It freaks out and it goes into hyperventilation, which is simply quickening the breath. Well, what happens? That compensating mechanism of quickening the breath immediately lowers our carbon dioxide levels, and it pushes us into a thing called alkalosis, which is just the pH of the body going high. We're becoming more basic. And if we live in this place, because we're in this vicious cycle of never being able to handle carbon dioxide, because as soon as the carbon dioxide rises a little, our body gets extremely stressed and immediately goes into hyperventilation. And we have this vicious cycle of never being able to tolerate carbon dioxide because we're always compensating with that hyperventilation, even at a low level. You may not be like, you might just be like, even through the nostrils, you're taking in too much air and it's pushing your pH too high, and it's making it so that you're always low carbon dioxide. So you never give yourself the ability to tolerate that carbon dioxide, right? And there's many receptors in the brain that are chemoreceptors and that tend to be hypersensitive in individuals who have high anxiety. And so then those chemoreceptors that there are some that are on the amygdala, that in those stress centers, that fear center, where the body gets confused because as soon as the carbon dioxide levels rise, those chemoreceptors on those stressful areas of the brain start becoming hyperactive, and then the body perceives that as high stress because of the connection to the amygdala and the other fear centers of the brain. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm a trainer and was a Broadway dancer, but this is my understanding of it, and I've been working with this for many years. And so the fear is hyperactive, and our body responds in the typical fear response, which is sweaty palms, hyperventilation, cortisol rising, adrenaline rising, our muscles cramping. That's why you don't want to live in a place of low carbon dioxide, because what happens when we're low carbon dioxide? Well, the exact opposite as being high carbon dioxide. High carbon dioxide, increased blood and oxygen delivery to our muscles, to our brains, juicy, malleable, so great for workouts, feeling healthy, feeling energized, increased oxygen efficiency because of the delivery of oxygen to our muscles and our brain. And so it's amazing. Well, think about all the opposite things. Decreased oxygen and blood delivery to the muscles and to the brain. That's why sometimes when you're having a panic attack, or if you're hyperventilating and you're breathing too much during a workout, you might get muscle cramps. You might get dizziness. You might have excessive anxiety while working out. I want you to try inhaling for 2 seconds and exhaling for 8 seconds. 1, just through pursed lips, but a little bit of force, like you're blowing up a balloon. And then I want you to try just body weight squats. Don't add resistance to it yet. Put your hands behind your head and do 4 slow squats with an 8-second exhale. Repeat that 5 sets in a row. So it's going to be a bit cardio, it's low resistance, but you're mainly training the breath. You're going to feel more in your legs. You're going to feel more in your body because those elevated levels of carbon dioxide also raise lactate in the body. I know we're getting sciencey here, but there are a plethora of benefits of that happening as well. You are training your body to be able to tolerate those stressful elements rising in your body, and you're only doing it for a short amount of time. I like the 30-minute workout range, but making it pretty intense, using your breath as a progressive variable so that you can tolerate these things in a workout, and then you can tolerate them in the outside world, in the environment, when you're having a conversation with your boss, when you're dealing with your kids who are screaming at each other, whatever it may be. You're taking a breath, you're recognizing, ooh, this is a stressful trigger, but I am going to breathe through it, and I'm going to be calm. And so it's incredibly exciting what just 30 minutes of training a few times a week can do, especially when you combine your breath work with your core. Please visit me on my tile on the Breath Source app. There I combine my breathography technique and hypoxics technique with Pilates, total body strength, recovery, and even some dance cardio. I was a former Broadway dancer, and so I've combined the breathography technique progressively over 8-week cycles where we perform dance cardio with this hypercapnic hypoxic training. Additionally, please visit me for my free Breath Brain Body program. That's at hypoxics.fitness, hypoxax.fitness, and there you can learn the breathography method at a beginner level and apply it to 4 weeks of exercise. And then when you're ready, come on into my studio where I have hundreds of workouts that combine the breathography breathing technique in conjunction with functional movement, strength training, resistance band work, dumbbell work, Pilates, dance cardio, all of those things. I can't wait to move and to breathe with you. Have a wonderful day.